Hey fangirls and boys, this is Natalie and you're watching Whole Lotta Love, and in today's video I'm going to create this super chic, alien chic makeup look that I have going here. And to create this look I used the Kaleidos Futurism I Sci-Fi Green Palette. That's kind of what inspired me, since it was like this, it was like sci-fi green. I mean, I do love the tones in this palette, but it is, you know, it's kind of like a little bit of a neutrally green, a little bit more of like a safe wearable color scheme. It's nothing too vibrant, so I definitely wanted to kind of get the look to live up to like that sci-fi theme. So I decided to hit my lower lash line with this Lemonhead Spacejam Ultra Luxe Glitter Bomb in this shade Crystal Tokyo, and this is what this thing looks like. These things are really fun to work with and really easy to work with. This one is Spacejam, which is more meant for the body than for the eyes because it has like those bigger glitters in it, but they're very easy to maneuver and very fun to work with. So I really enjoyed putting this look together. So I wanted to talk a little bit about this brand Kaleidos Makeup. So I had kind of started to see these palettes featured in, you know, different videos for different YouTubers that I watch, and I thought that they kind of look like those Cleona cosmetic palettes, so I wasn't really too interested because that looks like one of those indie brands that's still kind of like up and coming. The packaging was a little weird and stuff, but as I paid attention a little more, I realized that this was its own brand. This is Kaleidos Makeup, and that these palettes are actually really freaking cool. Like, this packaging is super nice. It has this metallic closure. It's like this three-fold envelope thing, and it has like a nice mirror, and it's a soft touch packaging. It's very nice. It has a little bit of a weighted feel to it. Definitely very nice. And I took a closer look at the palettes that they had available, and I thought these color schemes were really beautiful and pretty unique, like wearable but still interesting pairings of color. So I'll show you. So basically what I bought was the Futurism collection. So this one is the first 3 palettes that they launched, and when I purchased it, it came in this box, which is like a nice kind of keepsake box. Again, it has like that kind of flat closure to it, and they come kind of like basically like this, the palette. So like the display is pretty nice, and there was like a foam covering and a few different bows wrapped around it. So the presentation is very nice, and this brand, I believe, is based out in China, in Shanghai, and it took me about 2 weeks to receive my package. I live in the US, and it took me about 2 weeks to receive my package, which isn't bad overall, and everything was super amazingly packaged. They had like this super industrial strength bubble wrap kind of thing going, so it was really well protected, and there was no damage to any of the eyeshadows. They really took a lot of care to make sure that the packaging was, you know, strong, considering that it was coming from, you know, the other side of the world, basically. So this is one of the other ones. This is the Futurism II. This is the Cyber Bronze. I think this one's my favorite. They both, the first one, the Sci-Fi Green, and the Cyber Bronze have kind of like these mustardy shades in them. I guess this one's a little bit deeper. I'm such a sucker for these kind of shades. I know the Pat McGrath, one of those smaller mothership ones I bought, this kind of reminds me of that. And I kind of like those kind of shades. Those are like really fun, like transition shades that add like a little bit of like mystery and coolness to the look. It's not your typical transition shade. And I just really love that they have like this foiled silver, and this is a really beautiful, you know, kind of cranberry foil, and this like kind of pinky coppery color is really pretty. I will say with these palettes, I've tried this one and the Sci-Fi Green, which I tried the video, and I've tried this one off camera previously. I will say, you know, I really love the shimmers. They're a really like finely milled, sophisticated shimmer. It's a foil, but it's not like a chunky, super dimethicone creamy foil. It's more of just like something that's really finely milled, has a really smooth look, but still very reflective and bright and punchy on the eye. They remind me a lot of the Sydney Grace metallic eyeshadows. They have that similar like finely milled, where we kind of look at it and you kind of think that it might be a little less intense than a regular foil, but when you actually apply it, they do have that like strong metallic quality that a foil has, but there's just a finer shimmer. Like, you still get those reflex and the sparkle, but it's less of a chunkier look. So I think a lot of people would prefer this kind of foil. Like, I don't see them too often. Those are the only 2 brands that I could think of off the top of my head that have these kind of foils, and I think that the shimmers are the real winners for this brand, for Kaleidos. And I'll also show you the last one that I have here, which is the Futurism III. This is the Astro Pink one. So that's what this one looks like. This is like the more cool tones one of the bunch. It has really pretty blue shade, really nice kind of deeper mauve-y, pinky purple shade. You know, it's funny, it's called Astral Pink. There isn't like too much true pink in here, but I think overall you're gonna get like a kind of a mauve-y, pretty cool tone look with this. So I'm definitely excited to try this. It looks like it's a similar kind of foiled formula in a matte black with like a lot of pretty glitter in it. So I'm definitely excited to try this one. And I definitely do want to pick up the other two that they came out with. They came out with more like neon toned ones with more like unique kind of foiled colors in them. So definitely want to pick those up as well. And these color schemes are really nice, really unique, very sophisticated, and everything comes off really true to color. So I definitely am a fan of these. And I do believe that this trio set came for about $59 and they were doing free shipping at the time. So I didn't have to pay any additional tax or, you know, shipping costs or anything like that. I just paid the $59 and I got the palettes. I think they retail for $24 each, you know, and I'll kind of list it around the screen like the exact, you know, stats on everything. But I do think that I think the prices are really nice. I think that they're fair prices for the quality that you're getting. It's better than like an Urban Decay Too Faced, I would say. So it's a good quality eyeshadow and just a very unique packaging, you know, very nice, sophisticated, well thought out color stories. So I'm definitely excited to see what this brand is gonna be doing. I'm excited to see if they're gonna launch any kind of other products. I'm not sure if they have brushes or anything like that. Again, I'll kind of list it on the screen, but I don't think they have any other makeup products, just the eyeshadows, but they definitely hit it out of the park with these. So I would definitely, you know, recommend giving these a shot. Anyway, if you are interested in seeing how I got this look and seeing how the eyeshadows performed on my eyes and how I created this glitter triangle, glitter tiered look on my lower lash line, if you are interested in seeing my alien glam look, then keep on watching. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I've already done my brows and primed my lids with the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer, and I'm going to start my eyeshadow look using the Kaleidos Futurism I Sci-Fi Green Palette. So this is what it looks like. So I am going to take a small tapered blending brush. This is my Cosetti D2220, and I think I'm gonna start with this first shade here. And I'm just gonna, there's a lot of kick up in this palette. I am just gonna go above the crease of the shade and blend that out. So that is how that first shade looks blended out kind of above my crease and in the outer area of my eye. I think that that looks pretty nice. It's kind of like a warm toned mustardy camel color, and I think it performs pretty true to color on the eyes. Fairly easy to blend out as well. So I'm gonna go into this more olivey green shade over here, and I'm gonna put that in my actual crease using the same Cosetti blending brush. So this is how that second shade is looking blended out in my crease. I will say that, and I noticed this with the Cyber Bronze palette as well, I will say that these shadows are a little bit patchy. Like when I try to blend them out, they kind of get stuck a little bit. So they're not like the most buttery, smooth, easiest to blend eyeshadows. They're very pigmented and the color schemes are very, very pretty. And you can get the blend there. It's not like it's looking terrible or like it's poor quality. It's just, with me, I think there's just something, it's not the smoothest looking eyeshadow to me. I feel like you have to really work the blend with these. But the color story of this and the other two palettes that I have is absolutely beautiful. I will say that these shades look super, super similar. These two olivey green shades, one just looks a slightly more cool tone. Like this is the one I haven't put on my eye. That one looks a slightly deeper and slightly more cool tone than this one. I guess they are notably different when I swatch them out like that, but I just feel like blended out on the eye, they're gonna play very similar. I'm gonna go into that little bit deeper one and kind of work that in to see if it changes the tonality of this a little any. Actually, yeah, I would say that picks up a little bit deeper than I was expecting on the eye. I will say, I think I prefer the more like lighter, more olive toned one. This is more of like an army green color. Like, I think I like the way that this one was playing better with this than when I added this on top. But I'm just gonna keep blending and I'm sure it's gonna be fine. Just gonna go back into that first more mustardy shade just to kind of get that back in the look. Get this a little more blown out, a little bit warmer looking. I don't know if you can see that there, but there's like this area here that just refuses to blend out. I mean, it doesn't really look bad overall, but it's just not the smoothest blend I've ever worked with. And they're definitely like a little bit sticking to certain spots on my eyes. I'm gonna hit this black just a tiny little bit in the outer V, just to create that little tiny bit of depth. I don't want too much black in this look. And I feel like that black blended better than the other mattes, which is surprising. I'm gonna take a Royal Line Nickel Omnia BOM 42. This is just a flat shader brush, and I'm gonna go into this shade here, which is that kind of old gold, slightly greenish shade. And I'm gonna wet my brush a little bit. I'm just gonna put this in the center of my lid. So that shimmer is really pretty. It's really like bright and reflective. And I will say that these are kind of like foiled shadows, but they seem a little more finely milled. I mean, I also definitely like a chunkier foiled metallic look as well, but it's just different. I'm gonna go into this other shade here, which is the one that's like a little bit more of a yellow gold, and I'm gonna put that more on the inner part of my lid in my inner corner area. Again, I'm gonna wet the brush. So I think that is all the shadow I'm going to do on the upper lash line. I think that looks really pretty. I think the foils really brought the eyeshadow look together. They were really easy to blend out, and they're very reflective and bright and vibrant. So I think that kind of really pulled the look together. I think overall the upper lash area looks smooth and pretty blended out, even though the mattes were a little bit patchy. I think overall it's still a good look, and those colors all play really well together. I used every color in the palette, and I think it gave a nice look, and it doesn't look like muddy. Like I used too many different colors of shadow. Everything looks like a really nice vibrant gradient of color. So I'm just gonna put some Too Faced Damn Girl mascara on my upper lashes. I am going to line my waterlines. I'm going to use the LA Girl Shockwave Neon Eyeliner, and this is in the shade Screamin. It's just like a neon yellow eyeliner. I am going to conceal under my eyes and clean up the edge of my eyeliner. I'm going to use the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer in Fair Neutral. I am going to lightly set my under eye. I'm going to use the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Palette. I'm going to use the center shade, which is Incandescent Light. I am going to take that same camel mustardy color in the palette, and I'm going to go back to my Cosetti D2220 brush and just very lightly run this on my lower lash line. More to just connect the what's going on the upper lash to the lower lash. I am going to create a glitter upside down triangle kind of glitter tear effect on my lower lash line, and I'm going to do that using the Lemonhead Spacejam in the shade Crystal Tokyo. And I'm just going to use this Luxie, this is a 245 small shader brush, but it's like really flat, so it's almost like a concealer brush. I'm just going to coat this and draw out the shape on my lower lash line. So I'm kind of painting this glitter on, but I'm also kind of stippling it on because it is moving my concealer around. So I want to kind of just pack on that glitter to kind of disguise that a little bit. So what I basically did was I kind of painted on the glitter at first to kind of get the general shape, and then at the end I kind of just like packed it on more. The cool thing about the glitter is you can kind of move it around a little bit and like place the like chunkier pieces kind of where you want them. So I think I'm done with that glittery lower lash line. I think that came out pretty good. I think they look pretty even. I'm happy with that overall. I'm just gonna finish my eyes with a little bit of the Too Faced Damn Girl mascara on the lower lash line. So the eyes are done. I'm pretty happy with how they came out. I do feel like the concealer, I wasn't sure if I should set my concealer with setting powder before going in with the glitter, but I do feel like it's still kind of like lifted the concealer a little bit more than I remember doing this before. It could just be like the shade of this. I'm using maybe a little bit of a lighter shade of glitter than I've done when I've created a look like this before. But overall, I think it looks pretty even. It looks pretty nice. I feel like these Lemonhead Spacejam glitters are really easy to work with. And you can kind of move the glitter around where you will, and they're easy to kind of paint on and shape the way you want to. And I do think the top part of the lid where I use the Kaleidos palette, I feel like everything looks really pretty. The colors all work really well together. They don't look muddy. And I feel like even though there was a little bit of patchiness with the mattes, once I put on the shimmer, everything looks pretty nice and pretty blended. So overall, I am definitely happy with the eye look. So I'm going to finish the rest of my face. I'm going to use the Urban Decay Stay Naked foundation in the shade 20NN. This is my Juno microfiber velvet sponge. I'm just going to have to be careful to not get the foundation where I put that glitter. I'm going to apply blush. I have this NARS and Christopher Kane blush in Silent Nude. This came out a while ago. This was unfortunately limited edition. It's like a barely there nude kind of color. I would say bronze almost, but it really is literally like Silent Nude is a perfect name for it. It's just to give color without really giving color, so to speak. I am going to go in with highlight. I have the Kat Von D Metal Crush Extreme Highlighter in the shade Gravitron, and I'm going to use the Fenty Beauty. This is the 120 highlight brush. I really like this brush. At first I was trying to apply it kind of like this, but I realized it's like, it really is meant to kind of hug your cheek, so you would kind of go, I guess, like horizontally instead of vertically. But I'm just going to apply this highlight. I am going to finish off with lips. I have the Kat Von D Everlasting Liquid Lipstick in the shade La Lupe. It's like a warm almond kind of color. It's pretty unique. I think it'd go really well with this look. I am going to set my face. I'm going to use the Morphe X Jeffree Star Set and Refresh Mist, and this is in the shades, always say shade, but in the scent Starberry. I'm just gonna spray it because I know this nozzle's a little tricky. So this is the completed look. I am absolutely loving how everything turned out. Anyway, that completes this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and have a good one. Bye.